Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel NCRT series. Today we are starting with a new chapter, that is chapter 7, New Questions and Ideas. So we shall see the story of the Buddha. Siddhartha, also known as the Gautama, he is a founder of Buddhism and he was born about 2500 years ago. The Buddha belonged to a small Gana that is known as Sakyagana and he was a Kshatriya. And we know the story of Buddha that when he was a young man, he left his home in search of knowledge and he wandered for several years, meeting and discussing about the thinkers. Then he finally decided to find his own path. So he meditated for many days. Then Buddha attained enlightenment under the peepal tree at Bodh Gaya in Bihar. So after attaining the enlightenment, he was known as Buddha. He then went to Sarnath near Varanasi, where he taught for the first time. Then he spent the rest of his life traveling on foot, going from place to place, teaching people. Then Buddha passed away at Kusinara. And Buddha thought life is full of suffering and unhappiness. This is because we have cravings and desires. Sometimes this cannot be fulfilled, but even if it get fulfilled, we are not satisfied. We want even more. And the Buddha described this as thirst or tanha. And he also taught people to be kind and to respect the lives of others, including animals. He believed that the results of our actions, whether good or bad, that will affect us in this life as well as in our next life. And Buddha used to teach in a Prakrit language. So Prakrit was was an ordinary language people used to speak. So people used to understand what he used to teach. Next, we shall see about Upanishads. Yeah, before that, I'll show you this. So this is a stupa that was built to mark the place where the Buddha first taught his message. Then Upanishads. So Upanishads, they were a part of later Vedic texts, and Upanishads literally means approaching and sitting near, and the text contain a conversation between teachers and students. And most Upanishads think of Brahmins and Rajas, and even there were women. One woman named Gargi. She was a famous woman thinker. Then Satyakama Jabala, he is a son of Jabali. He had a deep desire to learn about reality. Then her Brahmin teacher named Gautama became his teacher, and Satyakama Jabala became one of the best known thinkers of that time. She have written Atman, or the individual soul. So we shall know about this. Around the time when Buddha was preaching, or maybe earlier than that, there were many thinkers who tried to find answers to the difficult questions. Some wanted to know about what will be the life after death. Others wanted to know why sacrifices should be performed. So many of these thinkers felt that there was something permanent in the universe that would last even after death. So they described this as the Atma, or the individual soul. We shall see this. 6 schools of Indian philosophy. Okay. Over centuries, India's intellectual exploration of truth has come to represented by 6 systems of philosophy. So those 6 systems of philosophies are Vaisheshika, Nyaya, Samkhya, Yoga, Purvamimasa, and Vedanta or Uttaramimamsa. So these were written by Konada, Gautama, Kapila, Patanjali, Jaimini, and Vyasa. Next topic, Jainism. The last and the 24th Tirthankara of the Jainas was the Vardhamana Mahavira. He was a Kshatriya prince of Lichaves. Lichaves is a group that was part of the Vajji Sangha. Then he taught a simple doctrine. Men and women who wish to know the truth must leave their homes. They must follow very strictly the rules of ahimsa. Ahimsa means not hurting or killing living beings. And ordinary people could understand his teaching because he used to teach in Prakrit. And there were several forms of Prakrit. For example, Prakrit spoken in Magadha was known as Magadi. So, and those who followed the Mahavira, they were known as Jainas. And Mahavira at the age of 30, he left his home and went to live in the forest. For 12 years, he led a hard and a lonely life. So, at the end of which, he attained enlightenment. And as I said, followers of Mahavira were known as Jainas. So they have to lead a very simple life, begging for food. They had to be absolutely honest, and men had to give up everything, including their clothes. But it was difficult for most of the men and women to follow these strict rules, but still, there were many who left their homes to learn and teach this new way of life. And Jainism was supported mainly by traders. And farmers, they could not support it because they had to kill insects to protect their crops and found it more difficult to follow their rules than compared to others. Later, Jainism spread to different parts of North India and to Gujarat, Tamil Nadu, and Karnataka. And the teachings of Mahavira and his followers were transmitted orally for several centuries. And teachings of Mahavira are available in its written form at a place called Vallabhi, that is in Gujarat. Next, we shall know about Sangha. So, both Mahavira and the Buddha felt that only those who left their homes could gain true knowledge. So, they arranged them to stay together, that is called as Sangha. So, Sangha is an association of those who left their homes. And the rulers made for the Buddhist Sangha, they were known as Vinaya Pitaka. So, from this, we could get to know that there were different branches for men and women, and even all men could join this Sangha. And if children wants to join, they were supposed to take permission from their parents, and if slaves want to join, they had to take permission from masters. And those who worked for king, they had to take permission from debtors, and that of the creditors. And women had to take permission from their husbands. And those who joined this Sangha, they led a very simple life. They meditated for most of the time. They went to cities, villages to beg for food during the fixed hours, and that is why they were called as bhikkhus or bhikkhunis. And those who joined the Sangha, they included the Brahmins, Kshatriyas, merchants, laborers, barbers, courtesans, and slaves. Next, we shall see about monasteries. So, both Jaina and Buddhist monks went from place to place throughout the year, teaching people. So, the only time they stayed in one place was during the rainy season, because that time it is very difficult to travel. So, their supporters used to build them a temporary shelters in a gardens. But after some time, their supporters started building them the monasteries, and they are known as viharas. I'll show you the image of vihara. So you could see this is a cave in Karle, that is in present-day Maharashtra. Monks and nuns lived and meditated in these shelters. And these viharas, they were donated by rich merchant or the landowner or sometimes the king. So the local people, they used to come with gifts and food for the monks, and in return they used to teach these people. Then the system of ashramas. So here the ashramas does not mean a place where people live and meditate, but it is used instead for a stage of life. So four ashramas were recognized. One is brahmacharya, another one is grihastha, another one is vanaprastha, and sannyasa. So Brahmin, Kshatriya, and Vaishyas men were expected to lead a simple life and study the Vedas during the early years of their life. So then they had to marry and live in householders, that was called grihastha. Then they had to live in the forest and meditate, that was vanaprastha. And finally they had to give up everything and become sannyasis. And the system of ashramas allowed men to spend some part of their life in meditation. And generally women were not allowed to study Vedas, and they had to follow the ashramas chosen by their husbands. So yeah, this was all about this chapter. And all these notes are available in my Instagram ID, UPSC Zone. Please do follow it. Link in the description. Thank you for watching. Please do like, share and subscribe my channel NCERT series, and do press the bell icon to get the notification as soon as I upload any of the videos. Thank you so much.